and thank you very much for coming along today to this webinar. I'd first like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the lands where QUT stands, the Yuggera and Turrbal people, and to pay my respects to elders past and present, and of course to our First Nations emerging artists. I thought I'd just speak a little bit about myself first. I'm a practicing actor and director. I've been doing that for many, many years, and even though I'm here running the acting program, I'm also still a practicing actor. And I say this because I think it's important that our students are taught by people who are still in the industry. So I'm going to kick it off now. I'm going to share my screen and go through a little bit of a PowerPoint with you that will hopefully make everything very clear. And the one I want is not there, but here we go. Here we go. So I'm just going to go back a couple of slides. Yes, so here's our acknowledgement, which I've already done. I really want to acknowledge that we have people here from all over Queensland. I know we have a lot of regional participants today and from all over Australia. So to acknowledge that you're obviously on those lands as well. I'm going to give a little plug for our open day first. This Sunday, we have our open day here at QUT. And we have a special School of Creative Arts open day here at our Kelvin Grove campus. So if you can make it, we've got all sorts of things, and I'm doing a live session with some of our actors from 9 o'clock, and all of that information is available on the QUT website. So we might hopefully see some of you this Sunday. But of course, we understand a lot of you are many miles away from Brisbane. So I want to talk today about the program, about the success of our graduates, and about the content of our program, and obviously also about the audition process. So I'm going to start at the other end and talk about graduate success. We're going to talk about the industry connection and relevancy, how we train for very contemporary stage and screen environments, how we train autonomous, empowered artists, how we develop opportunities for our students to align many other skills, the deeply collaborative environment that we nurture here, and how we spend equal amount of time on stage and screen acting, and of course, the graduates who are already working before they even leave QUT. So talking a little bit about graduate success, our graduates are working. And of course, as any teacher from any of the leading drama schools in Australia will tell you, unfortunately, not every single graduate leaves their school, and this is the case with every single school. Unfortunately, not every graduate leaves and gets an agent and goes straight into work. It often takes 3 or 4 years for a graduate to develop those relationships with industry and start to really get a lot of work under their belt. But we, at the moment, any stage across Australia, you'll find a QUT graduate. And I just picked out just a few of them. For example, Sydney Theatre Company is currently touring The Visitors, directed by Wesley Enoch. And one of our graduates from last year, Najwa Adams, is in that production, and Zoe Walters from 2023 is in that production. The Shirley, excuse my bad typo there, which is coming up soon at STC, has Catherine Van Davies, one of our fantastic graduates. Catherine's doing all sorts of amazing things on television as well. Belvoir Street Theatre in Sydney later this year. Zarif, who graduated in 2019, and really extraordinary artist, is playing the lead of Orlando. At Bell Shakespeare Company, we've just had Henry V has just toured all over Australia. Rishab Kern, who graduated in 2021, was in that production. And of course, coming up at Bell Shakespeare is Romeo and Juliet, and Romeo is being played by Ryan Hodson, who graduated just a couple of years ago. Queensland Theatre, Pride and Prejudice was on earlier this year, and 4 of the main cast were QUT grads. We have upcoming graduates in upcoming shows that I can't mention the casting because it's all top secret, but we do have graduates in those plays coming up. And obviously the SEAM project, Keeley Hay from last year. La Boite Theatre Company, Macbeth, starred Nicole Hoskins, and We're All Gonna Die has got 3 of our graduates in it. So they're everywhere. And when you look at screen work, here are just some, and you'll recognise some of these faces. I think you can see my pointer. Here's Tom Wetherell. Tom is an extraordinary young artist. He's not only an actor, he won the ACTOR Award for Best Emerging Actor a couple of years ago. He's in Heartbreak High, He's in The Narrow Road to the Deep North, but he's also a very talented writer and is working on some very exciting projects. Regan Mannix, who graduated just 2 years ago, Regan has not stopped working. So he is he's in The Narrow Road to the Deep North. He was in Boy Swallows Universe, Young Rock, Series 1, and many more. Deborah Mailman from a few years ago, much loved graduate. Brenton Thwaites, of course, who has a major international career. Emily Weir, who's a regular on Home and Away. And Ethan Wynne, who has also had a really fantastic run in the last 2 years. And he was in Human Error, which was on Channel 9 earlier this year. Lola, I've mentioned Lola Bond up here because Lola actually did a Disney series when she was in her second year. And that's one thing that we do allow, and we try to facilitate. If our students get professional work, we try and make that happen for them. Tom certainly did a lot of professional work while he was here. And here's the wonderful Anna McGann, who you will all recognise from her many film, television and stage roles. Anna works with us a lot as a teacher, but also as a writer. She's written our show reels. The wonderful Wayne Blair, extraordinary actor and director. He's directing many, many things on television these days. And here's Tom Wilson from just a few years ago, and Tom is being seen everywhere at the moment, also on Heartbreak High. So there's just a little bit of a snapshot of some of our recent grads, and maybe not so recent grads, who are doing amazing things in the screen world. You can never guarantee that when you come to a drama school, you will graduate with an agent, and we can't guarantee that at all. But these are some of the top agents in Australia. There are many more of them as well, who have a close relationship with QUT and who represent some of our wonderful actors. And we're very lucky to have those relationships. That's something that I put a lot of effort into, is building those industry connections with agents and with casting directors. And the casting directors and the agents talk to our graduates in their third year, and they start to get a really strong idea of how the industry works. We are looking to try to create a sustainable career for our actors. And it's very important that if someone is spending 3 years in a training environment, you want them to leave with the best possible chance of having a successful career, and also having a career where they feel like they have a good sense of well-being in no matter what they do. So we teach very contemporary acting techniques here that are relevant to the current Australian industry. And when I say the Australian industry, I mean the Australian screen, television and theatre industries. So you won't find, for example, all the work that we do is very contemporary. The stage work we do is very contemporary. It would be the kind of work you would see at Sydney Theatre Company or Queensland Theatre Company. Our teachers are all leading artists in their own right, so they're working professionals. And with that comes a whole lot of industry contacts. For example, we have the wonderful Mari Cameron, who's directing our show reels, our third year show reels at the moment. Mari is a very accomplished film and television director. And of course, Mari is connected. So if one of her producer friends is looking for someone, she can obviously guide them to some QUT graduates. So those sort of industry connections are very powerful. We have a very strong connection to, as I said, to the film and to the theatre sectors as well. Dan Evans, who's the current artistic director of Queensland Theatre, has worked with us on many occasions as a director and as a writer, and in fact as a director and a writer on the same projects. And of course, Courtney, who is the artistic director of La Boite. Courtney is a QUT drama graduate, and we have a very close relationship with La Boite. And as I mentioned, we have a close relationship with agents and casting directors. I spent 30 years in Sydney as a working actor, and all those relationships that I've built over all those years, of course, benefit our students as well. And I think I've mentioned that we train for the contemporary stage and screen environments. So we also want our actors to leave here and not just be people who wait for the phone to ring. We want them to be artists who know how to create their own work. And I'll talk a little bit more a bit later about the structure of our course. But the structure of our course allows for our students to pick up other subjects that will help to build their portfolio as multi-hyphenated artists, is how we like to call them. So we have quite a few acting graduates who are still acting, but also have created other work. For example, we had a group of our students from last year who created a web series called Roomies. one of our students wrote that series, another one of our acting students directed it, and they formed a fantastic relationship with some graduates from one of the film schools, and they produced it themselves. It starred all of the QUT acting students, and that will be hitting the festival trail at the end of this year. Some of you in Brisbane may have seen scenes from A Yellow Peril, which was produced by Reaction Theory at QT Door 3, and it's just recently had a season at QPAC. Egan Sun Bin, who graduated a few years ago as one of our acting graduates, is the founding artistic director of that company. So we get very excited when we see our acting graduates doing so much more with their time. We had some students a couple of years ago who created Call Girls and Greenlit, 2 web series. They actually created those between first year and second year and third year, which was so exciting. In those summer holidays, they paired up with some film students and they wrote these fantastic series, which again are doing the festival routes. One of my third year actors, Tom Anderson, is a great example of someone who is becoming a very interesting multi-hyphenate. He's in the PlayLab Incubator Emerging Artists Group as a writer, but he's also with the La Boite Emerging Artists Group as a director. And we really support and encourage that kind of relationship with those fantastic professional bodies. So the important thing for us is that we train our actors to leave to have a brilliant time. I always think when I was at drama school many years ago, I was very proud to say that they were really the 3 best years of my life. I had an extraordinary time, and we want our artists to have a brilliant experience. We put a lot of effort into making sure that it's a very supportive, inclusive environment. Agency is at the heart of what we do. So we seek input from students where the students are incredibly supportive of each other. It's not a competitive environment. It's an environment where the students work at their best, but they're incredibly supportive of each other. I'm a trained intimacy coordinator, an accredited intimacy coordinator, and consent and intimacy is at the heart of everything that we do here. And that's incredibly important so that when our students leave QUT, they'll enter the industry and they'll understand all those protocols, which of course is now industry standard practice. And as I mentioned before, we allow our students to work outside, both professionally and in independent productions, be they screen or stage productions. And this has an incredible effect because that sense of agency really comes from the students doing their own thing and feeling really empowered in that work. And also they develop fantastic professional relationships. So some of our actors, as I mentioned Lola before, she had a Disney series. Well, that sort of ensured that she got a very top agent when she graduated because she already had a series under her belt. So sometimes it can be too difficult and students may need to take a semester off to do that professional work, but we're very supportive of that idea of our students really flexing their muscles. And of course, a lot of them will be writing and directing and doing other things as well as just acting in outside projects. So the opportunities to collaborate here are extraordinary. I'll go through, I've got a nice little diagram in a second to explain the course structure, but not only do our students do their core acting units, but they have the opportunity to do a minor in dance or screen or creative writing and drama, sonography, and any unit from the university. So for example, say a student comes in and they are, and I haven't put music there, I meant to put music. Say they come in and they're really a competent musician and they want to keep their music skills up, then they can have a minor. And what we found with some of our students, for example, who are very strong musically, we had a production last semester where 2 of our third year acting students did all the composition for the show. There was a lot of music in it. And those 2 students may well be doing some more composition this semester as well. So not only are they acting in these shows, they're also able to flex their muscles as composers and as musicians with a professional theatre director. So that's a wonderful skill for them to go out into the industry, to be not just strong actors, but also have all those musical skills. Same with dance skills, and especially with creative writing. And a lot of our actors choose to do screenwriting. As I mentioned before, with the bunch who did Roomies, one of those students had done a screenwriting course and was very committed to writing throughout that for an outcome. And that was a great opportunity for them to really test their writing inside the course with a lot of support from their tutor to create something that was ready to be shot. So that's something that we certainly offer here. So as I mentioned, it's a very strong interdisciplinary environment. Students collaborate very closely with other students and often develop extracurricular projects, which is really important. For example, there's all sorts of theatre festivals that happen in Brisbane. You'll find that there'll be drama students and acting students who will be collaborating on shows that are going on in those festivals. There will be Anywhere Festival coming up. There'll be short films for the film students. They make short films in their third year, but a lot of them also have extracurricular films that they work on. And our students will be in that. One of my students was saying that he did 3 short films over the mid-year break that we've just had with QUT students and also with Griffith film students. So they never stop, our students. And students develop skills to use as complementary to their acting skills, and I mentioned that before, and that does really increase their income opportunities. For example, we have some students who've been doing marketing as an elective, and when we run our shows, those students, not only will they be acting, but they might also be on the marketing team for that show. So they have incredible skills in that regard. So when they come out of here, if they want to develop their own theatre company, they've already got those incredible marketing skills, for example, to really help them push them forward. The one I started here at QUT 9 years ago, and the one thing that I felt very, very passionate about was that our students had equal stage and screen training, because one of the notes that the industry had made to drama schools was that actors were coming out of drama school maybe ready for stage but not ready for screen. And I remember a couple of agents saying to me that it took about 3 or 4 years for their actors to be really ready for the screen work. So we, as I said, we teach particular acting technique that's very much based in realism. It's not to say that we don't also do a lot of style work as well, but the core of what these students do is based in realism, so that they really understand what's required of them for screen work. The screen work starts intensively in second year. And of course, today, if you want to get a job as an actor, you have to do a screen test. And I did one last Sunday, one the Sunday before. So it's the kind of thing that we do all the time. And our actors start doing those screen tests in second year. And by third year, they're doing one a week. So they're doing them as they will hopefully be doing them when they're out there in the industry. In second year, they do studio work, and in third year, they do location shoots. And in fact, we've got our location shoots on at the moment. I'll share some photos from that in a minute. The other thing that we're incredibly lucky here at QUT is that my predecessor, Diane Eden, set up this extraordinary philanthropic fund supported by Lynn Rainbow Reid, who's an amazing philanthropist. And this means that with the fund's support, we are able to make sure that we get the very, very best of the best. So we get the best stage directors and screen directors and playwrights. We do a lot of commissions. So our third year show that's about to go into rehearsals in a few weeks is a commission being directed by Wesley Enoch and written by David Burton. Our show reels that we're shooting at the moment have been written by Anna McGann, and that's a commission. And of course, we're doing our big show at the end of the year in Gardens Theatre, and we have a professional designer and lighting designer and sound designer professional stage manager. So we have really, as well as a really competent student team working on that. So we're very, very lucky that we have this wonderful support from our philanthropic fund that allows us to really do outstanding things. And I know that we're the envy of many other training grounds because of this incredible support. So what do people say about us? What do the industry leaders say? So as I mentioned before, agents had mentioned that not all drama school graduates are ready to hit the ground running, and I'm pleased to say that they're now saying that yes, we are ready to hit the ground running, that our actors come out ready to do self-tests, ready to do theatre auditions with an enthusiasm and an understanding of that professionalism, highly competent in self-testing, that they're great people lacking in ego and the kind of people you want to work with. And I think that that says a lot about the kind of environment we create here. The culture here is a very supportive one, and one where, as I mentioned before, students do have a say in what they do. And I think that they all feel acknowledged for that as well. And there's a lovely respect for each other, and I certainly feel that respect as being a teacher. Our students are very industry aware. We do a lot of work in third year, working with agents and casting directors and making sure they really understand. They understand what happens when you go on set on a film or a television series. They understand how a theatre company works. And our work is, as I said, it's based on realism. It's deeply authentic. And that helps, I think, with current trends in Australian theatre as well as in screen work. Our graduates are reliable and they're collaborative. They're used to working in a group, and they're used to not always being the shining star. The other great thing about QUT is our facilities. And I've taught at most of the drama schools around Australia, and I think we have the most fantastic facilities here. When I ask our students, what do you love most about QUT? It's always the people, the culture, and the facilities. So this is an example of some of our spaces here in Z9. These are the kitchen spaces. The students have these wonderful open kitchen spaces. Of course, we have beautiful drama studios. This is one of the music studios. And I'll give you an idea of some of our screen spaces. So I'll kind of work backwards here. In the middle here, we have a little shot of some motion capture that happens. We have our own motion capture set up. We have beautiful studios where students can do their own self-testing. We have a wonderful setup now, just two shots down here of students working in our special VR studio. So this on the background here was a whole lot of things projected. Students were sitting in this car. The projection was moving behind them. It's very, very exciting. In fact, I did some TV recently where I had to get used to exactly the same thing. So it's very much real world. Up here we have a shot of yesterday, or actually a Monday, on location with our wonderful director, Mari Cameron. We shot this at the here at the Botanical Gardens, and here fantastic scenes here too. So we have a professional film crew who come and work with our students. So it's not a student crew; it's a professional crew who are very, very skilled in shooting, and we then obviously use a professional editor. Sound designer. So we have very high-end results with our screen work. Stage, here's just a few snapshots. We have some beautiful spaces here. We have our loft theatre, which we use in first semester. This semester we're using Gardens Theatre, but we also have collaborations with other theatre companies. And stay tuned, there's things to be announced coming up. But we do tend to use both student designers and also professional designers for our stage work. So here's a bit of an example of how the course is structured. So you'll see here, these are our core units. So if you choose acting, well, obviously you have to audition and be offered a place in acting, but there will be some units that you will do that everyone in the School of Creative Arts will do. And these are fantastic units to really assist with critical thinking, to really help you broaden your knowledge and understanding of the world that you're going to work in. And we have some really exciting QUT units as well, where you learn all about, as I said, critical thinking, ethics and diversity, Indigenous perspectives, AI, technology, society, all the things that are going to impact an actor's life out there in the industry. Here are our majors. Acting, obviously, is what you do with us. And then you have a choice of taking a second major or a couple of minors, or even a minor plus extension units. And if you do come to open day, there are, not only will there be an acting session where I'll be speaking and some students will be doing some demonstrations, but our course coordinator will be running a terrific session talking about these course structures, and I really recommend that you come to that. Obviously, complementary studies you can take in animation, creative writing, drama, film and screen, music, visual arts, and you can choose things from around the university. And these are just some examples of what the minors could be in. So for an acting student, you could take drama as your minor, and you could be writing and directing as well. You could take film and television, in which you might be making screen outputs as well as writing for screen. You might do creative writing, which could lead into theatre writing as well. So there's all sorts of really incredible options. And I find that the actors, this helps, I think, to just broaden their understanding of the work that we do as actors as well, the scripts that we're working on. They have a much greater, a much broader understanding, I think, of the content of those work because of these other units that they're taking. Obviously, to get into the acting program, you need to audition. And there's a few key dates here. So QTAC applications open on the 5th of August, and our audition submissions open on the same day. You have until the 7th of October, and I'll look at in detail in a second how we can find out all the information about all of that. I think I've just covered those dates. And obviously make sure you put QUT acting as your first preference, if indeed we are your first preference. So I'm just stop this just for 1 second, because I would like to show you the page where you can, and I'm going to take some questions obviously at the end of this, and I think Tess is letting me know if there are any questions along the way. So here we go. This is the QUT page. Just put in QUT acting, and this is what you'll come up with. And you'll see here, it'll tell you lots of things about us. But when you get down to requirements, it will tell you everything you need to know about how to apply. You will apply for the Bachelor of Creative Arts Acting through QTAC. You will then create an account with Accepted. Accepted is the site that we're using to upload all of your content. There is a $75 submission fee for that. And there is, please do have a look, because there is applicants of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander heritage, or if you've been approved for an exception, you can do that. So please do have a look. If you can't afford the $75, please do have a look at that. You go to that page, you'll need to put in your QTAC number, your photo. Now, please, this doesn't need to be an acting headshot, just a photo that looks like you. Put your resume up there. Obviously, it's no more than 2 pages. But I read these and I really love to hear what else you do. So if you're you're a canoeist and you go on wonderful canoe trips, or whatever it is, please include all those interests that you have as well. If you're in certain clubs at school, or you've been doing you've been traveling the world and doing interesting things, all of that we find really interesting as well. So do add those sort of key things as well, as you're obviously doing any acting, any school productions, or other professional productions you may have been doing. You'll need to then upload 2 audition pieces. One will be a monologue, and if you click on this audition pieces, you'll come up with some that we recommend. Now, we're very aware that most people like to audition for all the schools. And please do not for 1 minute think that you have to do one of the pieces from our list. You can do something from one of the other schools' lists if that's what you want. But we do suggest you do a contemporary piece. if Shakespeare is your absolute thing and you just love it and it's the thing that you just have to do, then fair enough. But my advice is use a contemporary piece. And also think we do look at a lot of auditions and we do tend to see a lot of the same pieces. So if you're someone who loves to read, you might watch NT Live, you might really be aware of various theatre productions. We love to see audition pieces that are different. That's just a little hint. So you'll do your monologue, and then you will do a little bit of a recording about why you chose that monologue, how it spoke to you, how you prepared for it. Just so you're not rushing, feel free. You don't have to do it straight after your monologue. You could film them separately and then just edit them together. You do need to upload that as one file. Now, the next one is the duologue, and that has to be from our selected pieces. So the monologue doesn't have to be from our selected pieces, but the duologue must. And we've added these duologues because they are the sort of duologues you would get for screen. So think of them as a screen performance. It's like a video self-tape for screen. And the thing that I like to see most of all is how someone works with another actor. So obviously you will need to have another actor there. And I know sometimes that other actor has to be mum or dad or your sister or brother or whatever, because, you don't have access to someone. But if you do have someone at school or a friend who can work with you, that'd be great. If you know someone else who's also auditioning, then that's perfect. Why don't you, be each other's partners? And the reason why it's great to have someone there is because you need to work off them. And I'll give you some more hints in a minute about how to prepare for that. And then, of course, you film that, and then you film a little discussion about how you approached it, why you chose that piece. And as I said, you can film those separately and edit them together, but they must be uploaded as one file. There's, in terms of preparation, there's a whole lot of great stuff to read here. Please go to these videos. We have a couple of short videos that our students recorded for you, and they will tell you how to record your video, and I'll give you some hints as well. So I really recommend you have a look at those videos. It's really important. So this is how we assess, and have a look at this, because we do our criteria, and everybody, all the assessors, and there's a few of us, we all make notes and give you a score in these criteria. So this is what we're looking for. So when you're preparing your pieces, have a think about, and am I being believable? Am I connected? Do I understand the play? And what is the impact of that? We want to have vocal and physical expressiveness and presence, comprehension and communication of the script, responsiveness to scene partner, and explanation of preparation. So we want to hear that you're engaged and that you're prepared properly. We can't give you feedback. We have too many people applying. I'm sorry. We're not able to give you any feedback. And as I mentioned, the dates is in November, where we let you know. And there's a few more things you can have a look at there on the site. So I'll just quickly go back now to my
Andrea,
no, you can't defer, I'm afraid.
Are you seeing that question?
Yes, I have. I'm afraid that is on that page there. I'm afraid you're not able to defer. You would need to audition again if that was the case. Okay, so I'll quickly just go to this, and I'll just finish my my little hints and tips. So choose a piece that really speaks to you. It's important that you understand the piece, and that you like the piece, and that you want to do the piece. That's very important. Please use your natural accent. It's very hard for us to tell how authentic you are sometimes when you're using another accent. So even though you might really love your Biff or your Martha or whatever, please just use your natural accent. Make sure that you use a reader, even with your monologue. Have someone there And what I really recommend you do this with your monologue. Ask yourself, what does the character want in the scene? What do they want from the other people in the scene or the audience in the scene or whoever they're talking to? What do they want? And then try to get that for the other, for the character. So for example, if there's the camera, I'd be looking just over here at a person, and I'd be working with them and I'd be trying to get something from them using the text to get the thing that I need. Don't treat it like an audition piece. Treat it like someone talking to somebody else trying to get something done. It's kind of the basic principles of acting. That's what we're looking for. Please make sure that the sound is really clear. It's so hard for us when sometimes people have a lot of noise or the camera is a long way away from them. If you can possibly record it in a nice quiet room, that makes a really big difference, because sometimes we're turning our volume up and up, but we just can't hear it well enough. And keep the shot quite tight. Obviously, for one of them, for the theatre piece, it can be a wider shot, but don't make it too wide. Sometimes we've had students do something up on the stage of their school or whatever, and they're a long way away, and we just can't see you enough. So make sure that you're nice and close to the camera, maybe from the knees up, maybe for the monologue, or even from the waist up. And then for the duologue, it can be quite tight. It can be from about here, from about, just what we call a mid shot. The monologue audition video, the address to camera needs to be to the camera. So when you're saying, this is why I chose this piece and this is how it speaks to me, that needs to be direct. But obviously off camera when you're doing, the piece. Excellent. So you have a monologue and you have a duologue. All right. So I'm going to, I've already talked through the criteria, and that's all there on the website, so you can have a look at that. Now, we do have some scholarships, scholarships, and I think I probably shouldn't have this $30,000 scholarship. So I think that's just, we don't have that anymore, but we have the $10,000 scholarship, which we awarded to our top person. And we also have an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander scholarship for the top ranking Indigenous applicant, which is very exciting. I'm going to tell you about our showcases. This is later on in the year, but I really encourage you to come. All the School of Creative Arts will have showcases in the week of October 20th and November, I can't see my screen very well, November 3rd, I think it is. And please go to the School of Creative Arts Facebook page and you will see that coming up soon. Now, QUT Acting has our production of Space Cowboy by David Burton, directed by Wesley Enoch, in the Gardens Theatre. And we have a free preview for any student, for a school student, a university student, any student. And again, all those details will be up on our QUT Acting website, QUT Acting Facebook page, I should say, and QUT Acting Instagram page. Probably closer to the time, but please keep your eye out for that. And we'd love to see you for those. Now, we'll come to questions in just a second. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you.
Andrea,
Yes?
do you mind if I jump in quickly?
Yes, absolutely.
Just on that scholarship you just mentioned. So I'll just clarify that the QUT does offer a scholarship called the QUT Excellence Scholarship, which is an offering for students with outstanding academic achievement. So it's not specific to acting, but you may still be eligible if you come and join us here at QUT. And I will share a link to that scholarship in the chat now.
Great. Thank you so much, Tessa. Appreciate that. Now, folks, I'm going to share a show reel now. So this gives you a little bit of an idea of some of the work that our third years do. So this is from last year, 3 of our lovely actors from last year. So sit back and relax and enjoy.
No girl on earth as sweet and kind, no girl alive as hot as Rosaline. Hot. Is that it? Just hot?
Give me that. This is no better than a fire emoji.
Do you think it's meant to be slam poetry? I mean, at least whoever wrote them can kind of rhyme.
Oh, slap me on my type behind or treat me right, oh Rosaline.
Stop it.
She snores at night and her teeth do grind, but bang my cousin, Rosaline.
I hate you.
Ros, you know who's written all of these, right?
No, who?
Jesus, you're daft. You two deserve each other.
Who?
I have the most wonderful bit of tea.
I'll spit it out.
So you can swallow it, am I right?
Celia!
Can you hear the drums, Orlando?
Do you really think it's him?
I know it's him.
How?
I saw him come through here earlier, dressed as a hunter or something in camouflage.
A hunter who's come to kill my heart?
No, not you two. No more poetry. Poetry is banned.
And if I'm lost and do not find, I promise I won't even mind. If you don't love me, Rosaline. No.
Oh my god.
I
Silly.
promise I won't even mind. I know it looks like I have pined,
I have an idea. What? Huh?
but I'm a super chill dude, Rosaline.
In 3, 2, 1. Sorry, what was that?
Oh,
I see you dressed up in camo there. This is the Arden State National Park, you know, no hunting wildlife.
oh, I'm sorry. I actually don't have any weapon.
The pen is mightier than the sword in this case, mate.
I'm just trying to hide from the authorities, live off grid, all that jazz.
You really shouldn't be telling us this.
Any idea who's been trashing bad rhyming verse through the bush?
Well, I think you'll find the writer is actually not lovesick, but a pretty chill dude.
Nah, he's whipped.
Completely smitten, I suspect.
Oh, deep in her DMs, eh?
He does actually like every single one of my Insta stories.
Sorry, what?
Did you write this?
Yeah. I'm just trying to leave a trail for a girl.
Just a regular girl?
Not to me.
I think we need to cure you of this crush.
I'm on the run, actually, so I don't have a lot of time.
Oh, look, there's no such thing as time in the bush.
You know, you guys are kind of strange for a pair of park rangers.
Do you want a cure for your heartache or not? It'll make you a really chill dude, I swear.
Well, I'm not having much luck with the rhyming couplets.
Here's the deal, you've got to pretend I'm this girl. What's her name?
Rosaline. One of a kind.
Shut up. No poetry in the forest, mate.
Okay. In a new state of mind, I'm Rosaline.
That goes for everyone.
You've got to try and seduce me.
Seduce you?
Yeah. You give me all your best moves and I'll pretend to be her. I mean, I'm sure she's a bit flighty, you know, she probably has daddy issues, so you'll get the ick and be cured.
Well, I think I'm in love with her. Do you think you'll be able to cure me of that?
Can try my best. Yes!
Go on.
Right.
Go on.
So, poems, let's go. What have you got?
No girl on earth is sweeter than kind. No girl alive as hot as Rosa.
Not hot. Hot's too boring. Gotta do something a bit better than that.
Ooh. Great. Thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. Those three actors, or Naja is actually in The Visitors, which is playing at KIPAC this week. And the other track was Cara, got a fantastic agent based in Melbourne, and so did Lachlan, and he's been doing really well too. So yeah, they've been doing very well. Let's have any questions. Please don't be shy. Any questions, Tess will forward them through to me. now's your opportunity. Any little hints that you want or anything I can help you with at all, would really love to help you.
Thanks, everyone. And just to reiterate, you can use the Q&A function at the bottom of the Zoom window to send through your question.
Don't be shy.
Oh, we've got one.
Okay.
We've got one in. The question is, should theatre blacks be worn for the audition video?
Necessarily. You can, if that's what you feel comfortable in, that's fine. But also, if you feel you want to wear something that's sort of, you don't need to wear a costume, but you might wear something that you feel is appropriate for the character, that's also fine. So that really is up to you. And I can see a question here, will the bachelor's degree change from fine arts to creative arts impact the curriculum? We have had a change recently, and there has been, so we've gone from a fine arts degree to a Bachelor of Arts. And there have been some, as I explained when I outlined the course structure, there has been some changes to the course structure. So yes, that is different, but I think it's actually having a positive impact. It's allowing our students to choose from a broader range of things that really excite them, that will complement their acting. And because, as I mentioned before, we have the Rainbow Reed Philanthropic Endowment, there'll be no impact to the high-end professional level of our screen outputs and our stage outputs. We're in that very enviable position of having a lot of support to maintain that high-level professional standard. Yeah.
And Andrea, we've got a couple more in the Q&A section. One is, how many people do you typically accept each year?
So the numbers have gone up a little bit. We have about 35 in first year this year. And we have 29 graduating in third year. Out of last year, I think we had 28 in third year last year, and everyone was made an offer of an agent. So we're still doing incredibly well, even with slightly higher numbers, which is still great. And I think what the advantage of having more students too is that people really find their tribe, they find their people in the course, and out of that is coming all sorts of extraordinary collaborations, which is really, really exciting.
Another question is, do you look for or towards specific traits of the people in the selection process, such as if they come from a rural background, as an example?
Not necessarily. I think what I like is, and this is why it's so important when you talk about the, one thing I didn't say, when you talk about the piece you chose, it's really good not to script it. Just speak very naturally. And if you kind of fluff words or whatever, it doesn't matter. Because I like to get a sense of who you are when you're, talking about your piece. And that's the thing that interests me, that sort of authentic nature of who you are. So I won't be looking at the postcode necessarily. I'll be responding to the essence of the person who's talking to me. And that's pretty much what happens in castings. A casting director or a director or a producer will respond to the essence of someone. So please don't feel you have to be something other than yourself. It's actually you that we're interested in, who you are as a person. And I think in all the training that we do here at QUT, we make sure that we don't quash that beautiful essence of who you are, because that's the thing that actually speaks on screen, is who you are as a person, if that makes sense. We don't want you to be speaking beautifully, for example, and lose who you really are. Yeah.
Amazing. One more question is, what's the difference from the original Bachelor of Fine Arts compared to the Bachelor of Creative Arts?
So the difference is that now that you can actually choose an entire other minor, so you can really specialize in a deeper way in screen, for example, or music or dance, but you can also pick and choose. So you might decide that you want to do a little bit from here, and a little bit from there, and a little bit from here. to really complement your studies. So that is the main difference. And we have a few more courses that are run in the entire school as well. Our first years absolutely love those classes. They find them incredibly stimulating, and they love the fact that they do those classes with other students, so that they're really meeting filmmakers and dancers and other animators and people who have different interests, and they really, really love that. And feel free, Tess, to add anything else to that as well.
Of course, yeah, thank you, Andrea. And I think Andrea's pointed out in her slides all of the amazing extra options you have to specialize in that can really complement a focus on live performance or stage and screen, everything from dance to drama to creative writing to production design to virtual environments. And you can learn all about those as well if you're able to come on open day, or if you look at any of the other majors that we offer here in the creative arts, you can get a sense of those additional extra study options you could take as part of a minor or extra units as well.
And I think it's really important not to see that as lessening the value of the acting program, because it doesn't at all. The acting program is, very much geared towards training young professional actors for the current Australian film, screen and theatre industries. So if anything, it builds a stronger sense of capacity, I think. And we have to also be realistic. Not everyone's going to get have a successful career as an actor. So to be able to have other strings to your bow, I think is also very important and possibly quite reassuring for mums and dads, I would think.
There's a question, can I pursue vocal training as part of the music minor alongside the acting major?
Absolutely. So whatever units are there in music, and I'm sorry, I'm not super familiar with them, you absolutely would be able to pursue those. Absolutely.
What do the in-person contact hours look like? Is it 5 days a week?
Not necessarily. And I think this is also something we're quite proud of. We're very aware that students need to work. Right? When I went to drama school many, many years ago, I received a lot more support from the government and I didn't have to work, only work one day a week on the weekends. We're very aware that students today need to work. And so you can create your diary to kind of look, hopefully you can shove it all into the same day so that you've sort of got, probably I would say definitely 3 days a week. You may have a certain number of hours per unit, but you are always expected, especially in the acting units, to do a lot of work, a lot of independent practice outside of that time. So we have the most extraordinary building here with wonderful rooms that students can access 24/7. Students can book those rooms. We have students coming in on the weekends or in the evenings to do rehearsals or whatever. So your engagement could be 5 days a week, day and night, if you chose, but also to be realistic and to safeguard your well-being and your health. You can have probably about, I would say, 3 full days a week, maybe a little bit more. And you'll find a lot of courses are starting to do that now too.
Is there a minimum length for the monologue that we have to perform?
Gosh, what does it say on the website? I don't want to say the wrong thing here. I think we say 2 minutes is the minimum amount. I would say definitely 2 minutes.
I have found it. Sorry, Andrea. So it is actually, it's in the monologues document. And on the 3rd page, it does specify the monologue should be no longer than 3 minutes in duration.
Great. So no longer than 3, but I think at least 2 minutes long. So we get a chance to, we really want to see what you can do. So we need a bit faster to see that, but no longer than 3. Thanks, Tess.
That's all the questions we have at the moment, Andrea. I wonder if there was maybe any frequently asked questions that you find that you always get that maybe haven't come up yet.
I think I've covered most things. I think parents always want to know what how will this prepare my young person for to work in the industry? And why would you want to go to QUT rather than somewhere else? And I think I've given you all the reasons why. And I think our graduates speak to that success. Because I think the agents keep saying to me, your people are just so nice. They're just great. They're easy to work with. And I think that the culture that we build here is incredibly special, and it's very, very inclusive. So it's a culture where we encourage you to do your best. We support you to do your best, not just in the work, but also outside the work. And we relish it when you find opportunities that are going to develop your artistry even more. But there's also rigor and expectation in the course, absolutely. So if we're training you for the profession, and we're certainly bringing in a whole lot of amazing professionals to work with you, leading directors, there's an expectation that you're going to be ready to work with those directors. So we give you as much as we can. There's a lot of luck involved in having a career as an actor. But as I said, because you're also learning all these other skills, you're in a position to be able to make your own work, to be able to create your own company, to be able to make screen work, to make theatre work, which I think puts you in a very strong position, and to also be employed in other capacities. You may be, we know that most actors have to have a day job, and to be able to have a day job that's still in the industry can be fantastic. So to be able to do marketing for a theatre company, or to be able to, still be involved in your craft with a skill that you've learned here while you were studying, I think that's pretty exciting. So I think that's mainly Tess. Most of
There's one more question's coming, Andrew, if you want to take us perhaps as the last question before we wrap up. Our question asks, I find that in school, the writing side of drama is not my strong suit. Is there much writing where you study acting rather than performance?
I'm assuming you're meaning academic writing. There is some academic writing, but we offer a lot of support. So we have our student support team here who are very, very helpful. We really want you to succeed in everything that you do. And so there is a student support. If writing is not your strong point, then reach out and get that support, and we'll make sure that you succeed in that area. There is a bit of writing in all the units, but also there's often ways that you can present in different ways as well in a course. But we always ask students to be upfront and seek the support that you need, and we'll certainly help you to succeed. I hope that answered your question. All right, well, Tess has just put in a link to our open day, which is this Sunday. I will be there with some of the wonderful acting students who are doing some demonstrations for you. We'd love to see you there. Please do go to QUT Acting Facebook and QUT Acting Instagram. Follow us, and anything that's coming up, any productions or anything that's coming up, and any news, we'll include it on those sites. It's been great talking to you. Thank you for coming from all over Australia and all over Queensland. And hopefully I'll be seeing some of you very soon, seeing some of your pieces. All the very best, everyone.